Hey, and what is going on, everybody? It is Zero here, back with some more Diablo action. Season 9 is well underway, everybody. And so far, I'm not doing too great, man. I'm not gonna lie. Um, Things are just not working out well for me this season. Not like last season, man. The drops were fucking flying last season. This season, not so much. I am getting shafted. Um, but we're going to kind of follow the same routine that we did last season, with a kind of climbing the leaderboard kind of update system to the videos. And this being the first video, we're going to go over the whole build, and we're going to go over the gear. So this is essentially a build guide, even though we did cover this already on PTR, though I'm not running it exactly the same way as I did on PTR. So let's, first things first, hop into the skills. This is, of course, I don't know why I was testing something on there. This is Holy Hammers, hammered in, baby. It is the shit this season. Everybody is running it. Everybody. So first off, we have Blessed Hammers with Limitless, absolute must. Falling Sword, Part the Clouds, Laws of Valor. I'm using Unstoppable Force. You can also use Critical. But I think if your crit hit damage is high enough, you're much better off using Unstoppable Force. Empowering the Law also reduces the wrath cost of all skills by 50% for 5 seconds. It just allows you to spin up more hammers easier and not have to worry as much about your wrath. Because you're constantly dumping your wrath in the build and having to pop Provoke in order to get it back up. And this just allows you to have a little bit more leeway with how often you have to pop Provoke. I just enjoy it. I prefer the way it feels to play with Unstoppable Force over Critical. You can go either way, though. It's entirely up to you. Provoke with Cleanse. Here's another skill that can kind of go one of two ways. I'm using Cleanse because Life on Hit is the absolute best thing for this build. It saves your ass so often, it's not even funny. And it can be a little difficult to work it into your gear because of the cooldown you need. So I'm using Cleanse. For each enemy successfully taunted, you gain 1,073 additional life on hit for 5 seconds. So that's a lot, man. That is an absolute ton. You can also use Too Scared to Run, which is what most people are running with. Taunted enemies have their attack speed reduced by 50% and movement speed slowed by 80% for 4 seconds, proccing the Bane of the Trapped. You can go either way. Entirely up to you. Akarat's Champion with Prophet for obvious reasons. We're not even getting into it. Prophet's the absolute baller freaking rune for Akarat's Champion. I think everybody knows that by now. Iron Skin, Steel Skin. You could probably go a little differently with this if you wanted to. You could do, I wouldn't say use Reflective Skin with it, but you could use, say, Charged Up, giving you 20% chance to stun enemies. You could probably even use Flash if you wanted to, but I think Steel Skin, 7 second of Iron Skin is the best choice there. Passives, we're using Fervor for the insane boost to damage with a one-hander. Finery, 1.5% strength for every gem socketed, must have for pretty much every Crusader. Holy Cause, the amount of damage dealt by your weapon is increased by 10%. Whenever you deal holy damage, you heal up to 1% of your total life. This can be switched out if you think you have enough sustain. You could switch this out for Blunt. Where is Blunt? Can I not see it? I don't see it. There it is. Blunt. Increased damage of Justice and Blessed Hammer by 20%. That's huge. Huge damage. But you need to be able to sustain yourself. If you can't sustain yourself, it's not going to matter that you have Blunt. So, Holy Cause. And finally, Indestructible for your free life. Again, with the Holy Cause thing, if you have enough sustain, I would say use Blunt. It's really, really, really good. Blunt is phenomenal for this build, but you need to be able to sustain yourself. And Holy Cause really helps you stay alive. Whenever you deal holy damage, you're getting up to 1% of your total life. Combine that with the life on hit that you're getting, and any life per wrath spent that you're getting. that really helps sustain you, and you really need that with this build because you need to be in the shit constantly and spinning hammers constantly, hitting everything, and everything's hitting you at the same time. Don't forget that. So you really need to be able to sustain yourself. It's a squishy build. It's a total glass cannon. Make no mistake about it. If you're not into builds that like jump into shit and have a very good chance of being melted instantly, then don't play this build, because there's often times where you're just going to get destroyed, and it'll be by stupid stuff too, more often than not. It won't be when you're like in the thick of it with a bunch of trash and elites, because I mean you're able to sustain yourself because you're hitting so many things so quickly. Your life on hit's keeping you up. It'll be when you're like moving from one pack to another and some skeleton all the way on the other side of the screen shoots an arrow at you and instantly kills you. That's what's gonna get you with this build. Oh my god. Inventory. Let's take a look at it. So obviously we are running the Seeker of the Light set. Keep in mind my gear is totally unoptimized so far. I'm having terrible drops this season. I haven't even started augmenting yet because it's just not, my shit's not there yet, man. So we have to run the full 6 pieces, guys. We are running obviously the Crown of the Light. You can go one of 2 ways on the roll with this. You can go Strength, Vitality, Crit Chance, or you can go Strength, Crit Chance, Blessed Hammer. I go Strength, Crit Chance, Blessed Hammer. It makes you a little more squishy, obviously, but the more Blessed Hammer damage you got, the better. We're going with the chest piece. Go straight tank, strength, vite, armor on that, or all res, whatever you can get. Shoulders, strength, all res, life percent. Go tank, and then make sure you get cooldown in there. If you can get area damage in there, and you feel like you've got enough vitality and toughness to fit in area damage in there, it's not going to hurt. It's just going to be, you know, gravy. Gloves, mine are definitely not ideal. Like, they're not bad. They're actually pretty good. Strength, crit, area damage, cooldown, but I would prefer CC, CHD, and cooldown. So crit damage, crit chance, strength, cooldown. Gotta have cooldown on your gloves, though. You have to have it, and you have to have it on your shoulders. Pants, go straight tank, guys. Boots, standard boot rolls, guys. Just get some hammers damage on there. You don't want any movement speed on there. You get that out of your Paragon points. Just make sure you got hammers and some tanky stats on there. That's it. And that's it for Seeker of the Light, guys. Next set we're running, obviously, is the Endless Walk, the Traveler's Pledge, Compass Rose. Ideally, I think you're going to want a main stat, crit chance, crit damage roll on your amulet. But beggars can't be choosers. The Traveler's Pledge is not an easy piece to roll, man. It can roll really bad more often than not. So just do your best. And you're going to throw a Bane of the Trapped in there. We're using the Compass Rose. Again, I would go for a strength, crit chance, crit damage roll on this if you can get it. But the Compass Rose is even harder to roll than the Traveler's Pledge, so good luck with that. It's not going to hurt to have some cooldown on there. So you could go crit chance, crit damage, cooldown if you can get it, or you could even go, there's a number of ways you can go. Just try and get crit chance and crit damage on it, and if you can get cooldown on it, it's gravy, whatever. Gogok of Swiftness in there. Gogok is huge, man. You need this for your cooldowns, like, big time. Big time. The name of the game here is cooldown. You need to be able to drop Falling Sword as often as possible. You need to be able to bring up Iron Skin as often as possible. Akarat's Champion is... Everything needs to pop as much as you can. Alright? Next up, we've got the Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. Another huge piece for cooldowns. You absolutely must have it. It doesn't matter you got cooldowns stacked all over the place. You need this ring too. You must have it. And you're going to throw a Bane of the Stricken in there. Okay? Next up, we are using Johanna's Argument. Really big deal. You can't do it without it, okay? Increase the attack speed and damage of Blessed Hammer by 100%. That's huge. Now, rolling this thing can be a real pain in the ass. Keep in mind, you can get cooldown on this bad boy, too. Personally, I think that I would like strength and cooldown on it and life on hit. That's what I would like on mine. But I mean, that comes down to a preference on it. I really like the life on hit for this build, and I've seen lots of people running it without barely any life on hit and just using cleanse to supply their life on hit. Guard of Choana, you must have this as well. Blessed Hammer damage is increased by 220%, all the way up to 250 for the first 3 enemies hits. Man, I am coughing like a mother today. Oh my god. Way to make a build video. I would go for a Strength, Vitality, Crit Chance, and Hammers roll on this. You can get Hammers damage on this bad boy too, but it's not easy to get. This thing rolls, for me anyway, terrible every single time. Every time it rolls so bad. Oh my god, it's ridiculous. Next piece, Sacred Harness. Judgment gains the effect of Debilitate Rune and is cast at your landing location when you cast Falling Sword. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. So if you guys don't know what Judgment Debilitate does, let's take a look at it. Where is Judgment? There it is. So Judgment, first off, pass Judgment on all enemies within 20 yards of the targeted location, immobilizing them for 6 seconds. That's going to proc you Bane of the Trapped as well. And it gets Debilitate enemies in the judged area. Deal 40% reduced damage for 6 seconds. Huge deal, guys. Huge, huge deal to have that belt on, bud. When it comes to your bracers, you have 2 choices. You can either use... oh my god. You can use Gambriel's Van Braces, guys. And when Blessed Hammer hits 3 or fewer enemies, 85% of its wrath cost is refunded. Personally, the more I play this build, the more useless this piece of gear feels to me. Because you can just, with your cooldowns, Provoke just instantly brings your wrath back. You don't really need this. You don't. I'm saying it right now, the better piece to run is Nemesis Bracers. And the reason for that is because even champs fucking melt against this build. The only time they don't melt super fast is if they've got Juggernaut. So, and it's weird because normally you would play you would play and you'd be like, Champion Pack, I am not going near that stupid shit, and you just keep moving. Not anymore. Not with this. You can destroy them. Destroy them. Bring those champ packs in with the trash, Falling Sword that shit, hit all your other skills, spin up the hammers, and they melt, man. If you land on a power pylon and you pull the champ off that, they're gonna melt even faster. It doesn't matter if they have Juggernaut. The Nemesis Bracers are phenomenal for this build. They're gonna help you clear your rifts way more efficiently because you're gonna have all those extra champs to kill, and the champs give a huge amount of progression. Huge. Nemesis Bracers. I know there's going to be people that argue with me on this. I'm telling you, fuck Gambriel's Van Braces. Nemesis Bracers. They're the way to go. I'm telling you this straight up. I don't care what anyone says. Nems. Do it. Last thing to look at is the cube. That is the wrong item in the cube. I was testing something. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So we're going to be running Convention of Elements, just so we can get 200% more holy damage on the holy rotation, and our hammers are going to fucking melt shit even faster because of it. We're using Hammer Jammers. Enemies take 400% increased damage from your Blessed Hammer for 10 seconds after you hit them with a Blind, Immobilize, or Stun, which we're doing constantly, right? We're doing that constantly with Falling Sword. So that's why you need to pop it over and over and over again. You want to hit it as much as possible. And it's a 10-second thing, right? So there's no reason you shouldn't be able to cast Falling Sword every 10 seconds. Probably 9 seconds. If you got enough... Actually 8 seconds. You could probably do it if you get your cooldowns proper. Each enemy hit by Falling Sword increase the damage of Blessing Hammer by 60% for 10 seconds, max 10 stacks. Holy shit! 600% more hammers damage. Are you kidding me? That is insane. We're getting 600% out of that. Getting 100% out of that. You get 1,250% hammers damage out of the Seeker of the Light set. Hammers are ridiculous now. Ridiculous. Guys, this is the shit. I'm telling you right now. Hammers is so good. I told you guys before last season was even over that Hammers was going to be balls to the walls, crazy, nuts, amazing, go-to build for Crusader. I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong. Go get your Hammer shit going, guys. This build is crazy good. Crazy, crazy good. Just watch your positioning, guys. Watch your positioning. Another huge part of the build, and we don't talk about this all that often, is your follower. Why is that on? He should be on that. Anyway, obviously you don't want him to die. And you want this bad boy right here. The Oculus Ring. Create a focused circle, and you get 80% damage while you're in it. So it's huge. Another 80% damage. Another good thing you can put on him is the Bulkrathos Wedding Band. Drain life from your enemies around you. And this is phenomenal. The S of Johan. Chance on hit to pull enemies towards your target and slow them by 80%. So, but definitely get an Oculus Ring. Definitely get an Oculus Ring. And a good weapon to throw on him is the Yung Jang Do. He can freeze enemies, blow 18% life. So more CC for you. Yeah, I am loving this build. Guys, keep tuned to the channel. There is going to be the progression videos just like last season. Hopefully more than last season. I could start doing them right now, but I mean, we are not in a real good position to be like saying, hey, look how good I'm doing, because I'm only ranked 581. So the leader right now is at 94. I think I can get into the top this season. I really do. I think I can at least hit the top 30 again. It's just a matter of getting the right rolls on my gear, getting the right drops, and I've been having a lot of bad luck this season. So wish me luck. Like, comment, and subscribe. Go out there, get your fucking hammer groove on. Later.